So tonight was the Iowa caucus, and let me just say, I've been sitting at my computer hitting refresh for 5 hours straight now, and this was really grueling to me. And I know a lot of you kind of voiced the same sentiments on Twitter. Really eventful night, craziness just all around. Okay, so I'll kind of tell you the results, and then I'll give you my opinion. First and foremost, let's get to the Republicans because I don't really care too much about them, so I'll kind of get them out of the way. What happened was what I actually suspected would happen. Ted Cruz beat Donald Trump. He leads by a 3.34% margin. He finished at 27.65%, and Donald Trump with 24.31%. And Rubio came in third, Ben Carson in fourth, and Rand Paul all the way in fifth. But he did beat Jeb Bush. Not anything on the Republican side that's really crazy. I mean, Iowa always picks the evangelicals. In 2008, they picked Mike Huckabee. In 2012, they picked Rick Santorum. No surprise at all here. So I'm not thinking that this could potentially destroy Trump's campaign because this is just the first contest, right? But this definitely, it's got to be a blow to his ego. So when it gets to the Democratic side, this is a tie. We have seen numbers just go back and forth. It's stuck basically at zero point 0.2 between Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton. So as of right now, it is currently 1:47 Eastern time. So Hillary Clinton is leading with a 0.29% margin. Exactly, it is. She has 49.86%, and Bernie Sanders has 49.57% with 99.4% of precincts reporting. But when you round up, this is 50%. It's a virtual tie. It doesn't matter if Bernie Sanders kind of edges her out by a point or if they tie. I mean, there was one point where it actually got to 49.7 for both of them. So it's a virtual tie, whatever way you want to slice it. Now, there's a lot of mainstream media outlets that are saying, well, this is actually a win for Hillary Clinton, even though it's a virtual tie. And look, you can paint your own narrative however you want to do it, right? Because nobody really lost, nobody really won. They're going to be awarded about the same amount of delegates. I mean, we have to wait a little bit. There's some craziness going on. And there's also been some shenanigans that I want to talk about as well. There's a video floating around showing some voter fraud in Polk County. I watched it. Very troubling. I'll wait to give you a full analysis on that. I want to wait a little bit longer just to see if there's any more information that emerges, if there's any other instances where this occurred. So I'm not going to speak too much about that because just know that it's really disturbing. The video is at the very, very top of Reddit right now, and you can check it out. Also, some other shenanigans. So apparently there were 6 coin tosses, from what I understand, 5-6, and Hillary Clinton won every single one of them, which is statistically very, very improbable. So I'm not saying anything. I'm not getting out the tinfoil hats just yet. But let me just say that coin tosses in general, I mean, that's just an insult to everyone that went and participated in that caucus to know that it came down to a coin toss. And with how close this is, for it to come down to a coin toss, it's a little bit disheartening. Now, Martin O'Malley right now is sitting at 0.6. If he would have dropped out prior to this race, which, by the way, Martin O'Malley dropped out, but if he would have dropped out prior, it could have been the case that he could have given Bernie that slight edge over Clinton, but I mean, it'd still be a tie, so nothing that would really change things substantially. But yeah, Martin O'Malley dropped out. We have another casualty, Mike Huckabee. Don't care about him. Bye, Felicia. Yeah, please don't run ever again. We don't want you. But, I feel a little bit bad for Martin O'Malley because he wasn't a bad guy. He wasn't a very good candidate, in my opinion. He was too smarmy and whatnot. But not as smarmy as the king, Ted Cruz, who has won on the other side, he's just so fake and just an odd person. Really, I kind of get a creepy vibe from him, but this is ad hominem attacks, nothing substantive, completely disregard that. But, so here's what I think about the result of a tie. You can really paint this as a victory for both of them for different reasons. Now, the New York Times made the case that, this is actually a win for Hillary Clinton because Iowa was basically Bernie Sanders' bread and butter. It was predominantly, whites and whatnot. So, I mean, white liberal voters, just, Bernie's cup of tea, right? So the fact that he didn't win decisively, that's a win for Hillary. I disagree with that narrative. So here's why I think that this is basically a win for both Hillary and Bernie Sanders. Probably Bernie Sanders a bit more so than Hillary, but nonetheless, I think this is still not bad for Hillary Clinton. So the reason why I think that this is good for Hillary Clinton is because it's not a decisive loss, as was the case in 2008. So she finished in third in Iowa in 2008. She was behind John Edwards, and Barack Obama had finished in first. So even though she didn't necessarily win, she didn't lose, which, would have been a nightmare scenario for her all over again. Now, when it comes to Bernie Sanders, this is fantastic for him because, look, polls were showing basically that him and Hillary were neck and neck. She was maybe edging ahead of him on the Real Clear Politics average by a few percentage points. So she was projected to be the winner. Hillary Clinton was, that is. And Bernie Sanders he tied her. Someone who is taken on the establishment, someone who is a 74-year-old Democratic Socialist, is taken on the establishment, and he tied. So someone who has been painted as this inevitable candidate who is guaranteed to win, well, he's proving that not so fast, and he's currently leading in New Hampshire. And because he's leading in New Hampshire, because they have, basically the same amount of delegates, Hillary will be slightly ahead, I believe, because she already had 3 prior to this. I need to look it up. I don't have it in front of me right now. But basically, if he can win New Hampshire, the momentum will be fantastic. He already tied here, so we don't really have a victory for anyone yet. But if he can get the first victory in New Hampshire, this would be so huge. Now, here's what you have to do. You have to go to BernieSanders.com. You've got to donate. He needs money. We've got to get, we got to put in the footwork in New Hampshire if we want to win and actually have a decisive victory. Go and buy some of, his clothing and whatnot. You can get, bumper stickers. You can get mugs. That counts as a campaign contribution. It's the best thing to do would be to just give him money. But nonetheless, if you can purchase a shirt from him, that's still good. That's still money that goes towards this campaign. So also, now is the time to sign up to Phone Bank if you haven't. I actually contemplated doing some live phone banking. The reason why I haven't done that, though, is because I didn't really feel like it was ethical to record people without their knowledge and put it on camera. But if you couldn't hear, the conversation, it'd be kind of boring to watch. So that's why I haven't done that. But look, phone banking is something that people are doing everywhere. And shout out to people in New Zealand, and in Denmark, and Canada, and Australia, and everywhere else that I didn't mention. You guys have been getting more involved than many of us, and you guys have been doing phone banking. And look, this is just fantastic because what happens here impacts the rest of the world. So I get why you guys are concerned with the election. So thank you. But look, phone bank for Bernie, we've got to get the word out. If you have a family member that's still undecided, it's time to flip them. We got to flip it towards us. We might get a little boost since Martin O'Malley is now out of the race. So it seems as though his support will go to Bernie Sanders. But yeah, we have to go harder now. You don't understand. Because this was a tie, Hillary Clinton's campaign is going to ramp up so hard. And she won in she won in New Hampshire in 2008. So she's really, really hoping to replicate that victory this time. So you do not understand the force that they will be doing, the pressure that they will be putting on the Bernie Sanders campaign. So he's going to need all the help, all the volunteers he can get. If you can volunteer, if you can donate, do it now. Now is the time. If we can get this New Hampshire win, we are going to actually secure a lot of momentum. Now, again, I know you guys are going to see the headlines tomorrow. It might just be by 0.1 or 0.2 that Hillary Clinton is ahead of Bernie Sanders. But just know it's a tie. You're going to see people's narratives. The establishment is biased in favor of Hillary Clinton. Of course, they're going to say that, this was a decisive victory, even though it was close. But just know that what matters is delegates, and This wasn't a defeat. This was a virtual tie. And if anybody tries to paint it as something other than that, I think that you really got to question their motives, i.e. the mainstream media, like, New York Times, anyone else. So just know, virtual tie. Let me check one last time before I get off here. Yeah, so nothing changed since last time. Still 0.29% advantage for Hillary Clinton. Guys, it's a virtual tie. We round up. They're both at 50%. Yeah, so exciting evening. But New Hampshire's coming. We really got to focus on that. Also start thinking about South Carolina. So please go online and donate if you really want him to be successful. I'll see you guys later.